Hey, what's going on? What's going on, YouTube? This is Introvert Boricua. This is a bit of on an impromptu broadcast. Um, just wanted to talk about a couple of things, and I'm being joined by.
Man, you being joined by the 18th letter. Shout out to my boy Introvert Boricua. Shout out to everybody out there in the chat if you're watching. Shout out to everybody. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday night?
That's right. That's right. I mean, I know that this is a bit impromptu. Hopefully, I did send the link out, and I'm counting on so many of the other nice folks, friends of ours, to join us. So hey, man, I saw you earlier on Chantel's live.
Yeah. I've been actually joining Miss Chantel's lives for quite a while. I was there, from the earlier stages. Now she's gotten more famous as time has went on. I really enjoy, interacting on her channel, and interacting with some of the people there. And I'm happy that she's able to put some of this nonsense out in the forefront to, combat some of this false narrative that's been circulating for God knows how long.
Yes, yes. I mean, yeah, because everything, like everything, there needs to be balance. One cannot go all the way to one end and expect things to run well. It's kind of like when it comes to who can express certain things and who can't, who has the freedom to voice whatever it is their gripe is, and who can't, which is kind of part of what kind of drove me to do this live stream, because of something that I wanted to show you. I wanted to get your reaction on all of this. This is something that is, it might scare you a little bit, but still, I mean, there's something that I figured that I needed to be shared. Anybody who's watching, please hit the like, and subscribe if you haven't. I'm I'm gonna, if anything, I'm gonna make sure that I got the link to make sure that others can join in on the combo. Hopefully, I can share this screen, because this is something I want you to see. Let me see if I can get it right. Mhm. Okay, make sure that I got the audio, and here we go.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here to go over a video that was sent to me. And listen, I don't want to talk about worm food, kitten and heels. I really don't. I don't want to talk about a bandit who had multiple failed marriages, who was unhealthy, who had a low value life, and subsequently a low value funeral. I don't want to talk about a bandit who croaked on top of a throwback because he was so unhealthy, and I called out the fact that he was so unhealthy that his low value heart simply gave out. I don't want to talk about a bandit who became the father of all bandits to some daddy deprived riding struggle bandits who are desperate for a daddy, so they'll jump on any and cyber slurp it that they can find. I don't want to talk about this, but I got a video here that does a great job of illustrating Black women's pathology. It does a great job of illustrating the level of conditioning, the Black male worship, the low self value, and Black women's willingness to do anything to get validation from a bandit who ultimately has nothing to offer her. Black women's willingness to do anything to be able to marry a bandit so she can get stuck in poverty, brag on the internet, all for the sake of being able to say she has a husband. Yet it's a 90% chance that she's going to be extremely miserable in that relationship.
Man, I'm sure that was a lot to take in, because even though she's not talking about me, it was still a lot for me to take in. So Well, what do you think of that?
Uh, I don't really think much about it. This is something that's been going on for God knows how long. For her to disrespect that man like that, it's
Mhm.
funny because they had all the chances in the world to make videos, to go on his channel and speak with him directly, but they chose not to because they know they would have got shredded and torn apart because their intellect could match Kevin Samuels,
Mhm.
uh, could match his you know like his skills in conversation pretty much. And what she's saying, calling him worm food and all of this. Let's get one thing clear. Let's get one thing straight with this. Kevin Samuels is worth more dead than Cynthia G will ever be alive or dead. So we gotta let's just get that. She'll never have the legacy of a Kevin Samuels. She'll never have that respect. Her followers don't even compare. Kevin Samuels had every man over there, no matter what race, creed, or color. They was over there listening to Kevin Samuels. You and I both know, Ramon, he started out in the fragrance community beforehand,
Yeah.
and he blew up with that. He's left a tremendous legacy around. She don't have to like it, but God damn it, she will respect it. And mostly, everybody respect it. But it's something coming towards Cynthia G's way. She got something coming. But I wanted to let you speak, Ramon. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute up.
No, I mean, it's just that I mean I know that this is one of those things that I'm not supposed to comment on because I know that she's not talking about somebody like me. But the thing is that she does have an influence. She does have an influence, and I wanted to say before I continue, I forgot to say fair use because the clip that I just showed you, that's from Obsidian's channel. Thankfully, I didn't have to go into Cynthia G's own channel to show that part. That was from Obsidian's. That's why it had that thumbnail. So it was fair use. I meant it as a way to fair use, and I'm vocalizing from whose channel it was, just making sure that I had that clear. But and I know that she wasn't talking about my type, about somebody like myself. I get it. Um, but still, it was kind of disturbing. It was kind of disturbing because I know that there were a lot of celebration going on, and when the man passed away, um, there was a lot of celebration. There was a lot of twerking. There was a lot of cackling. There was a lot of really tasteless, very classless expressions of kind of like this joy over a man passing away. Apparently, apparently that doesn't seem to have subsided because this girl is a piece of work. I mean, and to think that I used to follow her because it was back when she used to make more sense. Like but apparently what she's doing is what's getting her paid. That's what pays her bills. Yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say absolutely. It's no different from like the Tariqs and a lot of people used to follow a lot of these people, but they switched the narrative when they realized it was more about the money.
Yeah.
Even Paris Milan. I used to follow Paris Milan, and then she
Hmm.
switched her rhetoric up, and I knew something was up with her because one time I called in the Paris Milan show, and she agreed a lot with what I said, and then the next time I remember calling into that show, like after she switched her rhetoric up, I was getting all types of insults hurled at me, not only from her, but from her audience. So it's just funny how things can change that way. I remember Cynthia G before she switched up. I remember her
Hmm.
before she switched up too. Um, and she now, but one thing with her, she's going to stick with this because she's ruined her any chances of her making money outside of this platform
Yeah.
because she can't get a regular job.
Oh no,
You
no,
know,
that's long gone. The possibility of that is long gone. I mean, it may have it may have been a thing back when she was talking about issues of racism and white supremacy. That might have been a thing, but I think maybe somebody who is from her people will have been taking into consideration what she was doing, and she may have had a chance to bounce back professionally on some way. But now she's like throwing a whole gender, making a whole gender, turning that, making it her enemy. I can see you munching. I can hear you.
Oh no, no. Actually, that's you know what that is. That's me walking on snow.
Oh, oh, no! I thought that you were munching on something. That's kind of what it sounded like. Wow, you're well. Thankfully, I'm not having to deal with no snow down here, because here is in kind of like it's like almost 80 degrees out here. It's wonderful. I feel,
Shout out to the Lone Star State. Shout out to
yes,
the Lone
yes.
Star State.
Yeah, I feel for you that you're having to deal with that fucking weather. I couldn't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. You're built different. I mean, I'll give you props for that. But the thing, but when it comes to that is like, okay, have a message, um, and you're doing this on such a public platform that even the people that you don't like are gonna hear it, or the people that you're trying to appease are gonna hear it, and like she kind of represents the hopes of some of the divestors, because these people these people that hate on somebody like Kevin Samuels and the divestors are like one and the same. So okay, I see that. I'm seeing that you are here. Okay, which one are you?
Okay.
Which one is it? Because I see
That's
two of
that's
you.
me. That's me on my laptop.
Okay.
Let me close this. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
All right. I wanted to make sure. Okay. So that is that thing, because from what I gather, from what I see, the the ones that are hating on you guys and the divestors are like one and the same. They're talking about that they're gonna be going to white men and getting with white men, but I don't see how that can be happening, because I mean you can't be spewing that much hatred all over a platform and not understanding that the same people that they want to divest to are listening, that they are catching wind of all of this, and they can't conceal that, they can't keep it a secret for long.
Well, it's a multitude of reasons why they won't get what they're looking for. Because first and foremost, they don't understand a lot of these communities, Ramon. And like me growing up here, the most common interracial relationship that I was seeing growing up was mostly like when it comes to black women or African American women, was African American women with Latin men, because
Yeah.
our communities was adjacent, and a lot of the times we lived in the same community. So, but a lot of these women, the women that do say that these women are so self-loathing, these women are so like morally bankrupt, that a lot of these women will go over there knowing that this man is bigoted and knowing that this man is prejudiced, allow themselves to be used just to feel that they are accepted, or just to feel that they are worthy of being around this type of person. These are the type of women that we're dealing with. And I don't think a lot of people understand how low the mentality of some of these women are. These women are that self-loathing and lack that have that little lack of respect for themselves, that they are willing to do that. And some of them keep their escapades to themselves. They may talk about it with their girlfriends, but it's these women that are deal with the white boss that's in corporate, allow him to do all types of things, think that they're going to be his girlfriend and various things like that. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But the glimpse of that paints the perfect picture. That if anybody remember, I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan, but he had two movies that I really enjoy, and that was Daddy's Little Girls and A Family That Prays. When you look at The Family That Prays, when the Mr. Cartwright, his wife, when she told Sanaa Lathan, do you think you're going to be anything more than him outside of these 4 rooms? You are so pathetic. Like
I
she
only saw, yeah, I only saw part of it. I only saw the part where the Sanaa Lathan character was getting dumped.
yeah, yeah.
That's like the only part that I saw, and I was like, "Oh, that's embarrassing."
Yeah, yeah. And she had a kid, and she had a kid with him and everything. And she said, "We have a child together." He looked her right in her face and said, "Do we?" And left because he wasn't willing to ruin his legacy and ruin his marriage for her. And that's the position that a lot of these divestors in. It doesn't bother me that Cynthia G said these things because this is something that we've been felt. And for a lot of black men, sometimes it's hard to face the truth that we really have women within our community that really hate us and they want to see us deleted if possible. But a lot of that has been too programming because of the spitefulness of certain content creators like the Chrissies, the Paris Milans, the Cynthia G's, the Real Talk with Yanni's, the Mahogany Pinks, the Lexus Exodus. It's been 20 channels I can name that got thousands of subscribers on my hands. Yeah. And it really didn't become a problem until a lot of black men started fighting back with their channels to combat the narrative. That's when you started seeing all of this pushback. And then a lot of these women, they just lie and lie and lie, and they create lies to even damage the reputation of a lot of brothers. And it's a lot of brothers that speak about this, like BGS Ibmore, Mr. Z, which I'm going to have a guest on my channel. And you should stop over there with me too, Mr. Z Black in Effect. He's a Haitian brother from Florida that talks a lot about these, and he breaks it down to a T. What's going on. He actually has made appearances on Radical's channel and Chantel's channel before. So the divested zealots, all of these evil demonic people, these are women that's past their prime. And the thing that a lot of people don't understand, they think these people are going to go out miserable by themselves. No, they're going to try to create as much as a problem as they possibly can. And that's their way of accepting I might never get what I want in life, or I might have never gotten. And their mentality of thinking as far as, this white savior complex, they don't really know what's going on. These are women that don't understand economics. They don't know what's going on. They think that, everybody, like most white men, are living. I mean, just hear them speak in some of these conversations. Oh, the white men did this, they did this and did that. They don't even know how the average everyday white man lives in the United States of America. They have no idea.
Yeah. No, it's just that, okay, you and I have heard them talking about that they're gonna be going to another group of men, usually preferably white men, which is fine. But the thing is that if they're gonna be talking like that so publicly and so loudly and so angrily, I don't know what makes them think that they can just go up and get with white men, understanding that these guys are not gonna tolerate that shit. I mean, the attitudes and things like that. And I know it's coming across as if I'm passing judgment, but the same could be said for certain Latinas that they have certain attitudes because of how they were brought up, and they also talk about that they're gonna get with a white man. Yeah, right. Good luck. I mean, white men don't get with Latinas like that. Even with the ones that look white, they don't get with them like that. I mean, yeah, some here and there, yes, but not wholesale, not in large quantities, because the Latina, as you know, she's not that submissive. You can't talk shit to her; she's gonna talk shit back. She's gonna cuss you out. I should know. Yeah. I should know, and that's why white guys don't get with Latinos like that. Even with the ones that look very European, which they exist, and there are many of them. But the upbringing is still different. I mean, they're not gonna keep their mouth shut if they feel that they are being mistreated.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Like that idea of who they want this. You know, they're looking for a Bruce Wayne. You know, they think that is multiple Bruce Waynes out there, and that all of these men are just walking around in three-piece
Mhm.
Italian custom-made suits that work in corporate America, that make $600,000-$700,000 a year, that drives a Maserati. That's just, hey, I'm looking for you. Like
Mhm.
and these women got tattoos on their necks, tattoos on their arms.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's so
That's another thing.
it's
I
so
don't date.
delusional.
Yeah, I don't date women with tattoos. Period. I don't have
Yeah.
any myself because that's I have to set the example, right?
Hmm.
And I wanted to say a shout out to Denise who posted on the chat. I mean, the link is in the chat. You can come up if you like.
Yeah,
But
and it's just such like they and the crazy thing we've been in a lot of these spaces, Ramon. The crazy thing that these women don't understand, which is so sad that they don't, is that these women that are bitter to have these channels are using these women to rage a jihad against black men. They
Mhm.
don't care about the sisterhood. They don't care about if these women don't find a mate to, actually they don't want them to have anybody because they feel like they don't have anybody.
No,
And
there is no sisterhood. I mean, two words: Shanquella Robinson.
absolutely,
Anybody? The two words.
absolutely,
That already proves there is no sisterhood. Yeah, but you were saying. Mhm.
yeah, and it just the whole point is that when you do have a woman that comes up that try to speak rational to some of these women, they call them pick me's, and oh, you a mammy, denoting the complete difference between what an actual mammy was historically versus what they're trying to turn that word into. So a
Mhm.
lot of these women are just outright sick, and I'm just surprised that Dave Channels had the time to be ran this long. But that's why I love brothers like Dennis Sperling, because he
Mhm.
doesn't hold back. He's not trying to, well, let's keep having the conversation. Me and our past having this conversation. Me and our past having a conversation. We've been trying to have a conversation while a lot of these women have dragged our image for God knows how long, starting with Oprah, starting with Alex Alice I believe her name was Alice Williams or something, the woman that wrote The Color Purple, um
Mhm.
all of these different artists who I can't really think, Bell Hooks. We've been having this conversation for quite a long time. These women, the only thing these women are interested in is using black men as their springboards to wealth, whether by disparaging their image or capitalizing off of them being deleted. That's the only thing that they're
Mhm.
interested in. Having black men underneath them where whatever mistakes they have, they can have these men come and clean up their mess. That's it. That's it. And for the simps that think the opposite, or trying to stand with these women, good luck to you, because you wouldn't even be trying to criticize the passport bros or anybody
Mhm.
if you felt that you had the community intact. If you feel that things are so, or you can do this and you can do that, and you can build this and that, then you can either get with some other brothers that's like-minded like yourself and start building. And why are you worried about where the next man is going? That shouldn't
Mhm.
even be an issue. But the issue is the fact that they know deep down in their hearts, they know that there's a problem that they're not willing to address because they're afraid to address it. And that's
Well, yeah, the whole building thing. They don't want to hear that. To them, everything has to be already built, which is not entirely wrong. As men, we are the ones that have to do kind of like more of the heavy lifting, but
mhm,
we do need kind of like a backing and support because we can't necessarily do everything ourselves.
right.
Ideally, of course, if forced to, maybe we could. I mean, that's something that we have already talked about. And when it comes
Absolutely.
to building infrastructure, that's almost exclusively men who do that. I mean, the only thing that we can't do is give birth. But aside from that, just about everything else, we can do it. I mean, we can maintain it and all of that. I mean, if
Yeah,
women were to not be here, society could still continue. It's just that we wouldn't be able to reproduce. So we do need each other.
absolutely. The level of delusion that some of these women have, man, it's beyond astronomical. Like, because it's gotten to the point now where they think, oh, what do we need men for? Like, even the crisis of COVID wasn't enough to deter their mentality from thinking this way.
Mhm.
Nobody expected COVID to go down the way it did. Nobody even knew what was coming. And that's the thing, because, and all of that, I'm independent, or I don't need this person. All of that shit went clean out the window when by the time COVID came around. So, like, it's crazy, man. But women like Cynthia G, she's doing exactly what she's doing it for the money. She's doing it for the money. She purposely used that guy that she had that child with as a sperm donor, and he's not the person that you would expect any type of building or anything from. But
Yeah.
she purposely went out her way to go meet this guy and have a child with this guy. And I don't know, man. It's a clown show here on YouTube. It really is. And for a lot of these young ladies, I want them to remember that this is where it started. The beginning of your misery down the line, this is where it started. If you having conflicted thoughts with meeting men and trying to date certain men and everything like that, remember you was listening to Cynthia G when you was in college. You was listening to Chrissy when you was in high school. You was listening to Paris Milan when you was getting ready to graduate from college. So just remember, a lot of these women have misled these young girls into the abyss, while they're pretty much trying to capitalize off their emotions and pain, and make money off of it. See, you and I, we don't make money off of YouTube. We make our money outside of YouTube. But for a lot of these women on here that spews that BS, their channels is their everything. We saw what happened with Nyla. Nyla got a channel cut down. What she do? She started crying.
Hmm.
Their,
Yeah.
their channels are their everything. This is their only livelihood. Outside of these channels, they have nothing. They're worth nothing.
Yeah. Well, she's with that convict of a partner. She's with
Yeah, I know, right?
yeah, but she's involved in the bullshit. They're made for each other, because I have seen her mugshots too. I mean, she's with an abuser. She's with somebody who has been to jail because of domestic violence and things like that. He's been to jail for that. Hey, and wanna give a quick shout out to Morena. ¿Qué pasó,
Shout
ma?
out to my girl Morena. Shout out to my sis.
Also to the unknown, who was posting just a couple of minutes back, and I want to make the clarification, because I see that you're already kind of getting bothered by what we're talking about. No, this is not woman hating hour. We love women,
No,
but
and
we are just
we
pushing
know
back.
I hate
We're pushing back against the bullshit. There is a difference.
Absolutely. Well, the question of the night that I wanted to ask you, Ramon, is wow. Whew, Dennis Sperling has a lawsuit against Woman Sphere, Nyla, Taz, and Cynthia G.
Oh,
What do you
okay.
think about that? Did you hear about that?
Wait. Fill me in. Do you know any details about that?
No, I don't. I don't know any details per se, but
Oh, no. I didn't know
I
about
know
that. Oh
I've
shit.
heard it that he has a lawsuit against them because of them disparaging his name or his image, and he was like, and these are some of the same people we saw drag Kevin Samuels' name. So here's the thing: we know to sue somebody, it takes lots of money, a lawyer, a retainer fee,
Hmm.
and you still may lose the case. And then when you lose the case, you have lawyer fees. This is why you have to watch who you play around with, because for somebody like us, we would have to come up with that money up front. But someone like Dennis Sperling, this man is a lawyer. He knows the law.
Yeah.
He knows the legal system. You don't
Yeah,
have
he
to.
has like his own
Yeah.
firm, I understand.
Yes, absolutely.
So he
And
has
he
a
can
team
do
of
it
people.
himself.
Oh shit.
This started because apparently some of the angry shout out to the unknown. What's up with you, brother? Some of these angry feminists called up and tried to get him disbarred in Texas and in a couple other places.
Mhm.
So he said he figured, since you're going to mess with my livelihood, I'm going to mess with yours. So now he has a lawsuit going up against these people. And Womansphere was, complaining and crying and saying it's because I was associated with Nyla and Taz. Part of it, but you was right along with the BS too. You was spewing a lot of the hatred too. You think we got short memories where we just forget, so we're supposed to forgive you because you decided that you wasn't going to be cool with those guys no more? No, it don't work that way. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pay out. And I'm hoping, praying and wishing that they catch the short end of the stick in that lawsuit.
Well, I mean, they have been running roughshod. I mean, with the misandry for all this time, and they have been protected. I mean, maybe some of that protection is to be taken away from them, and suffer some consequence for a change. So, like, golly.
Absolutely. So.
Look at Dennis. We never said such a thing.
Yeah, we never said nothing.
We never said anything about
has Kevin Samuels taught you anything? Kevin said you just forgot everything, huh? Just throw it out the window.
Come on. Don't be with the short memories. Yeah. Look. That's all right. I mean, we didn't say anything about us being perfect. We're talking about something very specific. We're not making generalizations.
And that's why I can appreciate, women like the Security Boss. And I know you've, been to Chase channel. And,
yes.
Women like that I can definitely appreciate, because they're advocates for men and, they're trying to combat. But this has been running rampant for so long, and people have been afraid to step. They've been scared to go up against the sisterhood because they got pulled. A lot of women have been afraid to go up against the sisterhood, but it's gotten to the point that it's so out of control now that somebody got to speak up, like as far as the women. Otherwise, they're going to take all of the good women right down with them.
Yeah, and I feel for her. I feel for somebody like Chase who... she gets trashed. She gets trashed by other women. Again, another proof that there is no sisterhood. I mean, yeah, disagree, but don't be trashing another woman just because you disagree with her. I mean, but the same with Chantel. I mean, they get trashed by other women, criticized harshly, called names and things like that. But yeah, for you guys that didn't watch the beginning, it's just that we're commenting on certain statements that another content creator was making, and she's keeping Kevin Samuels' name in her mouth, still celebrated. But the thing is that if you heard her voice, you could hear how mad, angry, bitter. I mean, she's so.
She sounds like evil. She sounds like she's possessed or something.
Like okay, the man passed away almost a year ago. What is she still so pressed about? What is she still so mad about? I mean, just mad, angry, and like golly. And the thing that what she was commenting, it was about a video of a woman who actually got herself healthier because she was following Kevin Samuels' advice. So basically, it's that she was promoting that whole body positivity bullshit. I mean, she would prefer for other women to stay overweight and unhealthy. I mean, but because these other women took advice and got herself in shape and got herself healthy. But somebody sent that video to Cynthia G, and she was mad about that. What, she wants other women to be the size of Lisa or something? Is that what she wants? Because that's what it seems. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, like all of them, like even with Chrissy, she it was these women, that was showing off their rings in college. They was getting ready to graduate, and Chrissy had the nerves to say, did those rings really look all that great, ladies? I mean, you want to get the guys that's able to give bigger rings than that, but the point of the matter is, Chrissy, they have rings. You don't. Nobody's trying to marry you, and no one is marrying these women that's in your audience. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the conversation. When was the last time they was offered any type of ring, yet alone a large ring? So,
and it's not impossible that they might have been offered something, but they thought that they were too good for it at the time, or they thought that they weren't ready, or they thought that the guy who was proposing wasn't good enough for them.
Or they had endless options.
That they were thinking that the options will never end, and that's something that happens with white women too. There are many white women that have gotten caught up with the modern woman mentality, even, and they find themselves being 35 years old and crying on TikTok about that. That is becoming more difficult for them to date. It's happening to them too, because more even white guys are kind of like doing kind of like more of their thing, and of course we know that they have already been traveling for a long time, so they're like the original passport bros. They have already been doing that for so long, but that's not compatible with modern women. Modern women are just going to be left behind. They're doing that to themselves. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's the thing. Look at Kristen Kerrison. She had the squirrel relationship, but she spent most of her time online arguing, about black men. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I'm pretty sure her husband, like, why are you talking about this group of men when you're with me? And as time went on, of course, she got a divorce, lost a marriage, and she's still online, preaching about the same thing. She was selling these courses to these women about, getting in an interracial relationship, the swirling courses that never came into fruition. So these women were like, okay, where's my white man? I paid for the course, not understanding it don't even work like that. Also, we remember the scam artist Michaela Pink, who's currently doing time right now. She's on the Chain Gang, who was trying to, she had these level up courses where she was scamming a lot of the women who was buying her courses. So it's crazy out here, man.
It's a scam game. It's a scam game all around, because if you look at all of these other content creators that are supposed to be leading others into something better, they're usually just running another scam. They're not solving anything. They're not helping anything. It's been happening for a long time. So
absolutely, shout out to the brother Afro. What's going on with you, Afro brother? And yeah, like it's getting out of hand. And the reason why, to what Afro was saying, the reason why the system won't change, men will have to unite and to change the system. First off, the system is not conducive to keeping society going. And second off, the reason why they don't want it to change, because all of these big time corporations are making their money off of the dysfunction and separation of American society. This is how they capitalize off of it. This is how they make their money. Even implementing all of these different weird, gender fluidity and everything else. This is how they make their money by keeping things dysfunctional. They don't want strong families, anything like that, because if the man is leading the family, then it's logical decisions that's coming behind that may cause women not to act sporadically based off of their emotions. So, you know, the more miserable women we have, the more, you know, a lot of things get bought, the more red bottoms, the more perfume, the more Gucci bags, the more Louis Vuitton belts, you know, all of that stuff, you know, is what's fueling the economy. And that's the way that they want it, which is why they invest millions into pushing out a lot of this propaganda and different things like that. So,
yeah. No, I understand. I get what Afro is saying. I get it. It's just that one will have to figure out where to change it. I mean, because it's already being changed, rigged against manhood, against men. That's why even in platforms, in the media, they're promoting all this gender confusion where nobody's gonna know who is what, even though biology has already dictated that. But when it comes to the system itself, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. I don't know how sustainable it's gonna be on the long run. It's gonna be a movement by people and not allowing the government to keep pushing agendas that are against our interests.
absolutely. Because now, like, you know, if like you have men that are opted out completely, whether it be marriage, you know, and in order to be able to build things, you have to have a family. You know, you build equity and home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
You reproduce your children, so you have to have a family to build. Like, as far as any type of wealth, and the United States is not heading in that direction. Actually, we're heading in the opposite. You know, so I don't know what to say, because women got everything that they've ever wanted, or what they think they've wanted in society, but yet some of them are very unhappy and miserable right now.
And depressed and
Yes.
on medication.
Yes.
The most that they have ever been in history. Yeah.
Yes. And if you've seen now that what you're seeing in society, a lot of more women out here committing crimes. Like, committing serious
I remember that video of these two women that were walking up to their apartment, and they were being chased out by these two thugs with masks, and one of them actually was able to shoot one of them. They were both women, actually, that they were gonna rob them with. One of them that had a gun and all, but they were gonna rob them, possibly harm them, and they were women. You will think that will be something that some thug, some dude will do, but they were both women.
Yeah,
they
it was four women. It was two women that was trying to rob the other two women that was going to their apartment. I saw that. We all saw the woman who shot the other woman in. Oh, I should have said that. The woman, well, who pretty much bleeped the other woman in the head, and in Brooklyn, and went on the run. Also, certain women out here like involved in all types of stuff. Man, it's getting crazy out here. But like I said, it's not like one of those. We love women. It's not that. It's just that the ones that got it out for men, man, they so evil and spiteful. Like, they're willing to destroy everybody in order to wage a war, especially on black men. What's going on with a lot of these women now? These content creators are dangerous, especially to young ladies that's listening to them, because you got girls that's 14, 15, 16 years old that's impressionable by a Paris Milan or a Chrissy or a real.
They're very impressionable.
Yeah. And they're running their relationship.
All that bullshit. all of the relationship bad advice that are going to be taken from these women when they have never been in a relationship themselves, they have never been in that situation themselves, they have never been mistreated or abused themselves, but because they're listening to these other women that keep time and time again repeating their Tina Turner stories. Kind of like all of them are Tina Turner, according to their tales, all the suffering and how mistreated they are. You will think that they are all Tina Turner. I mean, but no, they haven't necessarily been through that, through all of that, and they are telling all of those stories to these impressionable minds that they have never been to these situations, and they are gonna start doing what they also are doing, which is that they're gonna develop a hatred for men that is unwarranted, because they haven't been through none of that. But they're impressionable, and they are gonna think that these older women that are insisting on the bullshit, but that they're correct, that they are gonna be agreeing with what they say, and hopefully that there is some direction that can come their way that could lead them out of believing in all of this bullshit, man. Ideally that, and but we understand that not always that is gonna be there. There is social breakdown, social decay, as to why in some instances that may not be her, but hopefully a coach, a teacher, an uncle, a positive male figure in their life can protect them and cover them from this undue influence, and that are just gonna mislead them.
Absolutely, and that's that's the sad thing about it, because that's exactly what they're doing, and it sucks because a lot of these young girls don't even know what's going on, and they don't know that they're being misled by somebody that's scoring, that may have had a bad experience, or maybe not a bad experience at all, because what somebody pointed out was worse is with women like Paris Milan. They don't actually believe what they're selling you. They're just selling you that for profit. They're selling you, they're selling you that for money. So yeah, that's where we at, man. That's where we at. But I've seen some of the most evil, demented things that some of these women can say. And in my personal opinion, there's no going back from that. Me personally, I think a lot of black men are too forgiving. And a lot of black men, they fall for the shaming tactics, and they don't even realize, like, when it comes to our community, we've done everything that we can possibly do. We fought, we build, we tried to establish, we've done everything, but some are.
No, that's the thing. That's the very thing that they say the very opposite. That's the thing. They say that to everybody, that you guys don't build, that you guys that you guys don't protect, that you guys don't like. Come on now.
I can't count on my fingers, even growing up, the men I know that went to the grave trying to defend a woman's honor, or trying to, even protect women that they barely knew, or women that they was not, it's crazy, because when you look at what the message is being pushed out there today, they died in vain. So like it's I don't know, man. It's sickening. It can definitely be overwhelming. It can definitely be overwhelming. So yeah, a lot of that stuff, especially because, like, in my personal opinion, when I see online, we're getting attacked from all angles, whether it be some people that are prejudiced, that are of non-black groups, then you got your own women attacking you. So it's like, oh, and can't forget the alphabet people. So now it's like it's like a merry-go-round on, trying to pick an easy target of black men, because they view black men as not being able to really fight back. So they're trying to pretty much springboard their channels. Like, what was that one guy named Eddie Ahim? Like him, springboard their channels by, disparaging black men, and say he's part of the sisterhood and he wants the best for black women. How the hell can that be possible when he chasing the same eggplant that you chasing? So
Mhm.
how is that even possible?
Well, here's the competition. That's the thing. I mean, and women went out of their way to help the alphabets, the so-called trans,
Yep,
and now the so-called trans are
trying to
trying
take their
to supplant the
place.
women. They are trying to supplant the woman and be with the same men that biological women are gonna be with, want to be with. Now the so-called trans that they help are betraying them because they are trying to supplant them and they're trying to substitute them and they're trying to take their men. But the thing is that it's the only thing that we can do as heterosexual men is guys not to let themselves be fooled because some of these guys are very good with makeup and very good wearing dresses and all of that, but they're really dudes still.
Right,
They still have a dick. Let's
right,
be honest. They
right.
still have a dick. They're still dudes, and it's gonna have to take discernment in the part of the men, so they don't end up learning at the very last moment that they were about to hook up with a dude. I mean, and it's gonna be a problem because that's how some of them end up getting beat up and even end up getting disappeared. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not right. It's not right. But the thing is that um, it can happen when somebody is being intentionally deceptive at such a level. It's not right. But let's not be deceptive. Being deceiving like that's not okay. It's not okay for somebody to be harmed, but it's not okay to be such a liar. I mean, because I can respect transvestites. Transvestites are gay dudes that like to dress as women, but these guys are honest. Usually these guys are gonna be honest about it, and they'll let people know that they are biological men and all of that. Okay, that's fine. I can respect that. I can respect that. But the thing is that the other so-called trans, they lie about it. They lie about it. They go on and talking about that they're women just because that's the way they felt that day, and
yeah.
that's
That
bullshit.
wasn't
Mhm.
at one point. Wasn't they trying to get it passed into law where trans didn't have to tell anybody that they were
They're gonna
trans?
no, no,
That
they're
they
gonna
had.
have to. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to because that's very misleading when it
Yep.
comes to like relationships, and it's misleading also when it comes to maybe federal forms and paperwork and things that have to do with the medical field, biology. Because if somebody is still a dude, is still a dude. I mean, just
Right.
because somebody feels like being the opposite gender, that doesn't make it so. I mean, of course, the blue hairs and the purple hairs will yell at you talking about trans women are women. Ugh. No, 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 they're not. No, they're not. The Mother Nature already made the call on that. So, but yeah, they need to come clean.
Yeah.
They need to be
So
honest with that. I mean, that deceiving and lying, it's not okay. It's not okay.
yeah, and you know what's crazy is that too. Like, it's gotten to a point where I saw a video online where it was a guy that was a trans man, and he was saying how he regret going through that transition because taking all of those hormones really messed his body up. Apparently, I don't want to sound graphic, but in his, sorry about that. In his private area where
Hmm.
hair grows, it's been growing underneath his skin, and he
Mm.
had balance from the taking all of these different pills and everything. He was saying how he figured he's not going to live long, and he realized that while doing all of this, no matter what, he'll never be a man. Because he's biologically a woman.
Yeah.
So and it's I was like, hey, I don't know what to really say about that, man. But I mean, we
Hmm.
saw a lot of this coming, but it goes to show you that when people have an agenda, no matter what it is, they don't care. They look at certain people as just casualties of war. They don't
Yeah.
care, who they mislead down the wrong path, but they completely cause damage to these people's lives or anything. They don't care, So
Hmm.
we see this with these celebrities that's supporting this and different things like that. How they try to dance around every question about it only being two genders and different things like that. What's that one guy? I can't think his name. He's like the black Muslim guy that be on like all of these liberal shows and everything. I mean, I'm not a fan of Candace Owens, but she asked him one question: Can a man get pregnant? He said, "Well, it's possible for some men to get pregnant." You like, dude, you talking like these are trans men. You have to know it's not possible. It has to be a gender, a person with a uterus, and it's only one gender that has a uterus, and that's a woman. Why are we playing games like this?
Yeah. It's just trying to cause confusion,
Yeah,
and that's something that is very unfortunate that is happening with the younger generations. And I don't know where did we mess up, because it's not only the boomers. Maybe it's something that can also be attributed to my generation. I'm a Generation X, but
well,
the thing is that uh-huh.
no, I was going to say I wouldn't say we messed up anything anywhere. It's just that a lot of these people they got their, they got through the door, they slipped through the door, hiding their true agenda to just say, hey, we wanted equality, because it wasn't just like this like 15 years ago. If you notice, this started happening rapidly. You
Mhm.
know, it went from we wanted equality, we wanted this, and we wanted that, till now it's just a complete power trip. And
Mhm.
once money is involved and you got the resources to make things shake, you can make things shake. And like I'm trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes that made people approve this going into schools. It was bad enough with everything in every movie or every TV show, but just it going into schools showed you exactly what's going on now. Well,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
can't even ignore it anymore. The same gender bathrooms, like this is
Yeah, it's garbage. Uh, hopefully that is still going to be upheld down here, because locally in the state of Texas, they were making sure that there wasn't any question as to, when it comes to uh, public restrooms, that there is still going to be male and female. There is nothing co-ed. There is nothing uh, classified as called something else, classified as something else. So far, so good down here. I don't think that's going to
yeah.
be
Well,
changing anytime soon. But I
Texas
can
is
only
practically
imagine. Huh?
Texas is practically its own country.
In some on it, some yeah, there are some Texans that can be very proud, very
Yeah,
proud. There was I think a couple of days back, or recently, like there was kind of like a celebration of Texas independence, because it was temporarily. It didn't last long, but there was a time, I think it was in the 19th century, where Texas declared its independence. I mean, but it didn't last long. It didn't last long, because the Constitution really doesn't allow for it. I looked it up, and the Texas Constitution, what it allows is that for the state to break itself up into like 4 or 5 smaller states, but it doesn't provide anything about being able to secede, to being able to become its own country. And it could. The thing is that it could, because it has like the same economy as Australia, and Australia is its own country.
yeah,
So I think it could. Then, if we look at the details when it comes to the numbers, the GDP of the state, it could actually sustain itself. Okay, pretty good. But the United States wouldn't allow. The federal government is not gonna allow it. That's it.
yeah. Not like I was just saying, like the way they do things down in Texas. Well, the South in general, like you said, that's not going to be changing no time soon.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. No, and what I heard, That's too bad. That's too bad. I need to look more into it because I saw something about um, Mississippi going back to some Jim Crow laws.
You got to look into
Jim
that
Crow,
as well because I've been hearing a
Jim
lot
Crow
about
era laws. That's too bad because I used to live there and I didn't think it was that bad. Of course, it is underdeveloped. A lot of trailer parks. Um, but aside from that, I didn't think it was that bad. My time living in Mississippi, so I think it's too bad that they're taking that step backwards, um, and how there is a growth in promoting Nazism in certain curriculums.
it. Yep, saw that.
Yeah, yeah, I saw a little something about that, but yeah, all the more reason that we have to protect ourselves.
Absolutely. I mean, if anything, that showed us, to protect ourselves. When you look at, the Buffalo shooter, and you look at,
Hmm.
Dylan Roof on what he did, in that church, and then they showed you how it was done in White Settlement, Texas, when that guy
Hmm.
came in there and he tried to, well, he end up deleting a couple of the people that was members of the church, but not it didn't go without answer. He was stopped,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he was stopped with the power of a 10 millimeter, because we all know 10 millimeters can make the earth shake. So,
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah.
so
They did got him good, and it was quick and swift right then and there. So, props to the man who stopped a massacre because that's what it was supposed to end up happening. It was supposed to end up being a massacre, but yeah, yeah, that man stopped it. Kudos to him.
yeah, definitely, and so it's reasons why we have to have protection to be able to protect ourselves against people like this. We got a lot of sick people out here that's looking to do harm to people, and that's one thing I love about being an American in this country, because of
Mhm.
our rights, because not a lot of other places have this. We saw what happened with Australia. We saw, their situation when they had to, register their guns. Since the last time we spoke, Ramon, even in the state of Illinois, there's been numerous appeals and lawsuits that went to the Illinois Supreme Court to reverse
Mhm.
this law of banning ARs, and or an assault weapons ban. So
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
people are not going to go easily, and the Midwest are cousins to the South, so people is not going to go easy with
No,
a
no.
lot of this stuff.
No, no, I remember hearing about that they were gonna be banning certain items that are of common use, but that's against that will be kind of like against um previous rulings because firearms that are of common use they are not supposed to be touched because of previous rulings, specifically when it comes to the words of common use, firearms of common use, they're supposed to be left alone. I mean, but an AR-15 is of common use. It's a commonly used and commonly owned weapon. So they shouldn't be touching that. They shouldn't be touching that in Illinois, and hopefully that things get worked out. Um, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just wouldn't want you to have to go to Indiana to get something new, to get some new item.
Yeah, I had one of my boys. He's moving. I had to explain that to him too, because he don't really know the law. He's moving back into the city of Chicago from Indiana, and I told him, I'm like, you're gonna have to
Oh,
get a permit to carry. He was like,
yeah.
really? I was like, yeah. Because he was like, man, I'm gonna carry. I was like, dude, if you carry and you got to use that firearm to protect yourself against something,
Hmm.
you're gonna be like, damn, it was less expensive to get robbed.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna be in all types of trouble if you got to use that weapon to protect yourself against anything. Here with the Illinois state laws, is so jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you don't want to do that, man.
Nah. And that whole notion, that whole thing, what do you think of that when it comes to there are people that are actually getting really bold, and you know that there are certain people that want to carry their firearm. They want to do the whole open carry thing, but they're getting their guns snatched from them.
Yeah, I've
I
seen that
mean,
numerous times. That's why it's not good to open carry, because for a lot of people they lack awareness.
mhm,
People lack awareness, and people have short attention spans. So I've seen those videos where they wait for them to turn their head in the opposite direction and then snatch their firearm right off their hip. And then
mhm.
you just see a person like trying to run in the opposite direction because you don't know the person is going to try to aim it at him or whatever. But a lot of the times they just snatch it because they look at it as a free firearm and they run out of the stores or they run in the opposite direction and get in cars and stuff. So that's not
Mhm.
smart. Open carry is not smart. Me
No,
personally, I say
no,
concealment.
no. I strongly recommend against that. I mean, I have heard people or somebody that I used to know that I used to work with who is very pro Second Amendment and all. Um, and he was happy that they passed the law in Texas that says that you can open carry. You don't even need a license for it. But I was still telling him, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend it because there are people that open carry, and there are certain types that are bold like that, and they rob their guns. They rob them of their guns. Somebody can easily come from behind and snatch it off of you. So I don't recommend it. I really don't. So
Yeah,
yeah. When I'm out and I'm carrying mine, I'm always making sure that it's covered. I'm always kind of like keeping my hand around, making sure that it's all covered. Nobody can see it because I'm not trying to draw attention like that.
absolutely,
I'm really not.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, but yeah, Ramon, man, I'm gonna definitely have to hop on the next live. I got to get
Hmm.
ready to make a quick run. Man, I appreciate you
Yes.
having my boy. Really appreciate you
Good
starting
thing.
this live up. Yeah, we'll have to do a part two to this.
Yes.
Definitely
Yes.
do a
I
part two
mean,
because there's plenty of
of
things.
course, of course.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of examples, not just from Miss Cynthia G, but a lot of them. And you know what they're starting to do now, or they've been doing it for quite some time, but they're being sneaky now. Is that they try to have their lives in the middle of the night, and
Hmm.
then they delete those lives. They say a lot of nasty, hateful things in those lives, and they try to delete them so they can cover up their tracks. I actually saw a comment section on Chrissy's channel where there was a brother on there that called her out for some of the things she said, and just like any person that's conniving would say when they know they've gotten rid of a lot of things, she told him prove it, but
Yeah.
she know
Yeah.
he couldn't prove it because she deleted those lives. So
I see.
yeah,
And I want to give a shout out to Don Jose. I see you on the chat. I mean, we were about to close up, but if you want to come up and give us a few of your thoughts or what's on your mind, I'm still gonna put the link, but we're not gonna be live much longer. I mean, maybe you are working right now because I know that you're having those shifts through the night. Next time? Okay, no problem, no problem. Yeah, we're gonna do something against them.
absolutely, man.
Yes.
Thank you once again, my boy, for having me on your platform.
Hey, no
Highly
problem.
appreciate it.
Hmm.
Gotta go make a quick run. So shout out to everybody that was listening. Shout out to everybody for stopping through, and Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to my boy, the Introvert Boricua channel.
Sure thing, and also make sure that you, anybody who is listening and in the chat, if you haven't already, make sure that you sign up, subscribe to the page for the 18 letter. The thing is that I have tried to look up the 18 letter, and what I keep finding is Rakim the artist
Yeah,
album or a
yeah,
song from the artist Rakim,
yeah.
and it might be a little more difficult to search for you, but look it up. It's the 18 letter. Subscribe and follow his content, because he also does live streams, not as often as he should, and we keep
I know.
we
Taking my
can kind of like
laptop
get on
on the
his
road with.
we got on his case about it, but yeah, he also does live streams when he can get around. So follow him.
Shout
So,
out to
so definitely, Rakim, I appreciate you coming up. And it was kind of like a quick hangout that I wanted to do tonight. I'm also gonna be closing up soon. So, hey, do your thing. You said that you have to run. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, it was
You have a
actually
good one.
that friend
Mhm.
I was just telling you about. He's still moving some things. He asked me if I could come help him move something from Indiana. It's like I was like, man, it's kind of late. He's like,
Yeah, it's
I
past
know.
midnight.
Uh,
Can it wait until the morning, man?
yeah,
It has to be right now.
I told him. So I told him I'm gonna meet him out here in Cherville and help him
Mhm.
move this into this truck, and he's gonna go back to the south side of Chicago. So I'll help
Mm.
really quickly. And I'm like, man. But all right. But yeah. But once again, thanks for having me, man. Really appreciate it. Shout out
Hey,
to
no
my boy
problem.
Ramon and everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Hey, you too. You too. Take it easy out there. Watch it with the ice, ice
Definitely, definitely.
roads and all. All right. Take care, man. All right. So, as intended, this was a bit of a hangout, just going over a few things. We need to do this again soon. Everybody that came up, listen, posted in the chat. I appreciate you coming by. And I know that there are other live streams going on, but I appreciate that you came by and you gave a shout out. So until next time, this is Introvert Boricua. Have a good one. Peace.